Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so Virgos, this is a part two. Forgive me, I was trying to get it put out at 8 a.m. this morning, and there was a schedule conflict, and I had to bump this to 10 a.m. instead. I apologize for that. Um, Scramble that I had to do this morning. But in any case, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you didn't see part one, there is a free link right there in the description box. Yesterday is when we put out part one, and I didn't know if anybody was going to want a part two. And this is just for those of you who do. I know not everybody's interested in a follow up, but I kind of felt like we were leaving that one on a cliffhanger. Also, stay tuned after this because I still need to get to message from the pets. We also have other zodiacs we'll get to today, starting with Aquarius and Pisces, and oh gosh, going on down the road on the line. So, in any case, guys, welcome, and I hope you are having a great Friday. Probably a busy Friday if yours is like mine, but I'm so happy to be here. So, as we left things off with Virgo part one, we didn't really know what was going on between Virgo and another person, but there had been kind of a plot twist. It kind of seemed like there was possibly it was still going to be somebody from Virgo's past. I wasn't 100% sure on it, but the way this storyline wrapped up in part one yesterday, it appeared that we had a Virgo who really hadn't been ready to be in a long-term connection. And it was like, it was just becoming like front and center in their mind, realizing that. And then we saw at the end of the video, we saw out of this deck, in fact, that I'm now using again, we saw a Libra scales, the justice scales, and then we also saw the Empress. And I was like, okay, maybe this was somebody from Virgo's past where they were right for each other just at the wrong time. So we're kind of going to start out by exploring that. Who is the person? Who is that mystery person? Hi, everyone. So great to see you. So good to see everybody. Special shout out to Paris Jade Humphrey. I was like, we'll definitely get this video done, but Paris Jade Humphrey, I'm sorry. Again, I told you to be at 8 a.m. and now instead I had to move it to 10. So my apologies if you're watching this. But hi, guys. ACG, Angel, Goddess of the Moon, No Love, Irene. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so lovely. All right. So who is this person? Well, first off, I believe this card came out in part one as well, that these two either had conflicts or blocked each other or weren't really great together. We have some kind of unblocking going on, but now we have two people. Okay. With that three of coins, we're clearly seeing two different people. So is it possible that we still have a mystery to solve here? Judgment. Okay, so Virgo could have something fairly murky coming up, okay? And I want to say, I don't remember 100%, but I think that the card we started out with in Virgo's story from yesterday was the card of Zeus, which was about like this sudden like energetic spark. And it was like, okay, there's going to be like some epiphany moment or some shift, some awareness shift. And what it turned out to be is that Virgo is just now like preparing for partnership, like they're truly ready. And so I'm not surprised that when a character is truly ready, they could have somebody that they really feel like they're meant for, and also someone else who maybe wanted to be with Virgo that maybe Virgo it doesn't necessarily feel drawn to equally, could be making their way back into Virgo's world, because Virgo's going to have a choice between two. With that Judgment card in particular, we know that there's two people that would very much like a do-over with Virgo. Now, I assumed we were just going to figure out who the one mystery person was. I didn't know we'd have two people. Obviously, there is somebody out there that Virgo has energetically unblocked. When they think of this person, they don't feel any kind of a blockage. Now, that could be our mystery person that I suggested could be possibly a Libra. It doesn't have to be just because of part one yesterday. But who's the other person, you know? Maybe this is not going to be who I thought it was. Maybe there's somebody else. Even the Libra scales could have represented like two different people, and there's a weighing of who is it? Maybe Virgo knew two different people in the past that actually both could have been right for Virgo. The return, the reconciliation, the choice between two, and now the 10 of Cups sideways tells me we don't know who this is yet. Can we, since it looks like we're going to be rocking with two different people, can I please see person number one? Okay, an emperor. They're an emperor now in any case. So what was their relationship with Virgo in the past? Temperance. They are somebody who either wanted peace, harmony, and balance with Virgo, or this is somebody who actually could have been a boss that Virgo got along with really well, could have been somebody Virgo really liked. We have the guide. God, this is, I'm guessing that, I mean, it could have been like a teacher. Doesn't, it doesn't have to mean that there was an age discrepancy. But let's say this is, Virgo 3 years ago took guitar lessons with somebody, who's their same age bracket or something. It could be somebody that either was helping Virgo learn something, or in the past they were somebody, it looks like it was a good relationship, whatever it was. But it does feel like maybe this was a scenario where maybe two people were learning. Maybe the Emperor was learning something as well. Page of Pentacles sideways is definitely kind of a easygoing conversation. I don't think there was romance though between Virgo and this person. It just seems like these two talked kind of minimally, but it's like they knew of one another. Eight of Swords, for whatever reason, either Virgo was like a little intimidated by this person, or although then we rounded out with that Eight of Wands. It's interesting because certain things were never able to be talked about. Maybe romance. Maybe that's why these two kept it real low key and real casual. Emperor, what did you think about Virgo back when you knew Virgo initially? What did you think about Virgo back then? Five of Swords and Judgment. Why did you think... This is so weird. I don't know if they thought that their family wouldn't accept Virgo. Wait a minute. Emperors can be married. Is that why this was complex? We have a Nine of Wands sideways. They either thought Virgo's family wouldn't like them, or they worried that their family wouldn't accept Virgo. This could be a situation where certain things were either hidden, or Virgo was worried that this person had something else. Like there was an era or an area that was taboo to talk about. And I think it had to do with the relationship. Hang on. Why was there this fear of conflict surrounding a relationship? Knight of Pentacles, this needed to move slow. Okay, so I am thinking this is somebody, I'm not sure if Virgo knew what the full circumstances were, but it's somebody that was either afraid of introducing to their family, or introducing Virgo to their family, and maybe, I don't know if they were actually technically still married at that point. They wanted Virgo in their life because Virgo was like this peaceful, amazing energy, but they may have been married in the past. Maybe they felt like Virgo is, I'm at a weird place in my life where I'm about to make a difference, a change, do something else. Virgo is the nudge from my guides that I need to walk away from a connection. It almost feels like this was a relationship where, even here, we actually have this little Page of Coins sideways. This feels like somebody that was attracted to Virgo. It does feel like there's a weird taboo. Either they didn't want to tell Virgo their full circumstances, or maybe this never really got off the ground for any kind of a romance because of the complexities. Because this confused me too. The fears with the conversation, some things not being asked, some questions not being asked, some topics not being discussed, keeping it more surface level. This could have been a married individual, and it could have been a murky scenario. It was like, I wish I could be with Virgo, but it would take me a long time to be able to do that. Otherwise, it would be a massive conflict, because we have like a very disapproving family standing here. I don't see how my family's going to accept Virgo, especially if I've been separating, or I have been kind of living apart from a spouse. But if I start dating Virgo, I mean, what's that going to look like? This is going to be a mess. Their circumstances could have been very murky. Okay, so you're coming back into Virgo's world? Person number one, Emperor? Emperor, yes, I am. Okay, so ideally you're coming in very different at this point. Five of Wands. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to talk about. I will say this. They are an emperor all day, right? So they're very serious. At one point, though, they were still, when Virgo first met them, they were still like walking. And they're kind of like walking on planet Mars or on the moon or something. Now they're more settled. So it does feel like if they were in transition, like somebody can be an emperor, they can be very honorable, and they can still be in a very weird place where it's like, well, technically, yes, I am married. I need to keep my ex, even if they don't look like an ex because we're still married, but let's say for all intents purposes, they're an ex, but they still have a health condition and I have to keep them on my insurance. Or financially, there's a lot of different reasons that somebody could be extremely honorable and also be in very gray territory. So I'm just saying we have to still take this as somebody who didn't have dishonorable intentions because they are an emperor upright. So that means that this was gray territory. Somebody who was trying to do the right thing or had good intentions at all times in regards to Virgo, but I don't think that this was an uncomplicated situation. Okay, so let's set you aside for just a moment. We'll come back to you. Who is person number 2? Because we clearly have a second person. See, I thought this was going to be just a straightforward, like, okay, so here's the person coming into Virgo's world. And instead, it's like, wait a minute now. Okay, hang on. I don't want to be the reason that I bump cards and then they're tilted in different positions. I want to read them in the way they originally came out. We have the Moon. We have the Queen of Wands. We have a 10 of Wands. We have an Ace of Wands. Okay, so very different person. This could definitely be somebody that Virgo never knew had a massive crush on them. They could be a Pisces. They could think Virgo's the hottest thing ever. They could be somebody that they're much more passion driven. This is somebody who either has had a big change in their own life, and they could kind of pop into Virgo's world almost like really unexpectedly. This feels like somebody Virgo did not know had the hots for them once upon a time. Let me get another on that. Why and how would Virgo not have known? We have a 3 of Pentacles. Could have been somebody Virgo worked with, did business with. 7 of Pentacles. And 6 of Swords. I don't know that Virgo knew that much about this person's life, but Virgo knew them through a work-related thing. Now, that could be anything. That could be Virgo literally worked with them every single day in the office. That could be, this is the trainer who came to Virgo's company twice to, teach him some new technology. And they taught the whole company, and Virgo's like, oh, I had no idea they even paid any attention to me as a singular person. This could be somebody that Virgo, the plumber that Virgo hired, to fix something, or the contractor that, that Virgo's landlord sent in to fix something. There's so many different ways to say that, 2 people had to like interact together. 3 of Pentacles just means we worked together, and it's obviously on a project. This could be something to do with like 2 people helping a third. Maybe this is something in the medical industry. It feels like they were problem solving together, just to give a little bit more specifics. Whatever this is, it doesn't have to be medical. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this was a surgeon and, I was the whatever assistant or, nurse or something. It doesn't have to be that specific. I don't know. It doesn't quite come across that way. This feels like Virgo and this person interacted, though, possibly more than once. And I don't think Virgo fully knew that this person was attracted to them. And this person was very attracted to Virgo. But maybe because of circumstances, they couldn't really reveal it, is what it says. Which, again, this is interesting because if we go back to part 1, remember what we said? It was like Virgo's big reveal is, I didn't realize that I wasn't really ready for a long-term partnership. That's why I didn't find long-term partnership. But it's so interesting because it feels like there's 2 different people, both of whom have carried quite the torch for Virgo, who've kept Virgo in their minds. But you notice how neither one of them would have been ready for long-term partnership or even dating, like really and truly back in the past. So I wonder if Virgo kept meeting people that would be great for them at a later date. But again, I'm surprised to see that there's not one but two, which could complicate things for Virgo. But I will say this person, if they were either, there's somebody who worked with Virgo at one point in time, I do feel like they may have been in another relationship and now they're single as well. This could be somebody that I just feel like there was zero like flirtation, whereas I don't think that's true with the Emperor. I think the Emperor either tried to build something with Virgo because they were already thinking, what would this be like to integrate Virgo into my life? And it's like, oh, it'd be a shit show. Over here, person number two, it almost seems like this is somebody who worked with Virgo but could have had a boyfriend, girlfriend at the time. They are now single. They have fully moved on, moved out. They are single. I like the fact that both of these individuals are like, they come across as quite honorable as far as not trying to blur too many lines. Actually, if anything, the Emperor would have been the one that was maybe in the gray territory. This person seems like they stayed very, like, because Virgo doesn't even know that they were attracted to Virgo. Virgo has no idea. So I think that this person number two was really good at not showing anything if they thought that would have been inappropriate. If they were in another connection, they did not try to, flirt with Virgo even. So it feels like, I don't know, both of these options seem to be very drawn to Virgo. I will say for this moon person, the one Virgo has no idea was attracted to them, they may show up in Virgo's world, but I keep thinking at this point, maybe because they're single now, maybe because they were real hot and bothered by Virgo once upon a time and they, practiced great self-control and they didn't try to flirt. Maybe circumstances have changed. This could be somebody who was like a colleague or somebody to Virgo. They're not anymore. And their primary thought process still is, Virgo's so hot, I really want passion with Virgo, right? We see 3 cards here that represent intense passion. And I have to keep covering up the Devil card because the folk down at the bottom don't have any clothes on. So I would just say big passion, big desire. They may be wanting to ask Virgo for a date, but let's be honest, they'd like to get to dessert as quickly as possible. Now, I don't know how Virgo's going to feel about that, but it's interesting how as Virgo's just now realizing, you know what, I can sense that I have partnership on the horizon and I'm ready for it now. It's very interesting because we have 2 people, both of whom are very drawn to Virgo, that are also approaching. I'm wondering, is this going to like collide? Is Virgo going to go from, what do you mean I haven't dated anybody in a long time? I just now realized I think I'm ready. And now, bam, everybody comes out of the woodwork. Is it all going to come at once or is it going to be staggered? Ace of Pentacles, Hanged Man sideways. It's going to be in the same flow. So let's say as Virgo fully embraces like this new concept, I know it's coming. I'm going to be in a relationship. I realize it's the next great adventure of my life is I'm going to end up in a long-term romance, long-term relationship, partnership. And it's so interesting because it's almost as soon as Virgo like acknowledges that in the forefront of their mind and really like senses my life path, my timeline just shifted. I can feel it. I know it. That's when we have, I would say, like the energetic gateways open up. The Hanged Man is normally, delays or seeing things from different sides. I almost think that Virgo is going to hear from both of these people like maybe within the same 7 days. And I say that because we do have the 7 of Wands and we've got dude over here unblocking the gates, unblocking the roadway. And then this dude is like, one is going to think about it and then maybe reach out to Virgo and then maybe come in with a second, more direct message. But it's at the same time that the other one also reaches out to Virgo. One may have a problem getting a message to Virgo that could cause a delay. Maybe that stagger is going to be on purpose. It's kind of like they're both approaching Virgo at about the same time, but it could be like a 7-hour difference or a 7-day difference of timeline before Virgo sees that they've reached out. Maybe that's for a reason. Four of Cups. One of them is going to feel bummed because they think that they won't hear anything back from Virgo. I think there's an intentional delay. Maybe the universe is gifting Virgo a delay so Virgo can contemplate things, because now we have that Five of Wands. Wow. It's going to be in the midst of a very busy week or busy time for Virgo where they've got a lot on their plate anyway. Responding to anybody could be a struggle. I mean, like, I literally in my own life, I get so busy. I mean, I couldn't get this video out at 8 a.m. My intention yesterday was it'll be out, not a problem. I get that out at 8. And then you get one meeting that has to be moved, one thing that changes, and you're like, oh boy, and I can't even schedule it even for a 12-minute thing. There isn't that time available. You have to go to the next time slot, and it's just what it is. And it's so crazy how sometimes your minutes in a day are like on the calendar. They're already spoken for, I feel like that's how something in Virgo's week is going to be when they hear from not one, but two of them. Two of Pentacles in the reverse, Seven of Cups upright. I do think Virgo might have, like, even once they do hear from both of them, they may have to give themselves time and say, I can't respond to this right now. I'm going to have to wait a couple hours. And I need to chew on this. I need to think about this. Can I ask, Virgo, how are you going to feel when you hear from this Emperor? The Hermit. Okay, so there's Virgo. Virgo's like, this is the one I'm really going to have to sit and think about and chew over. So I'm guessing if Virgo has to really consider his message, and I'm saying him because he showed up as an emperor, right? But right now, Virgo shows up as both masculine and feminine themselves, right? And I never care about genders anyway, but they came out as an emperor twice. So when this emperor reaches out to Virgo, it puts Virgo into a very heavy contemplative state. So Virgo does receive this emperor's message, and then Virgo has to really sit and think. Why is Virgo going to be like drenched in thought process? Ooh, King of Wands, Queen of Cups, sideways. So I'm guessing this is the one that Virgo also thought once upon a time, like, I saw a future with them, even if it was like they were still in some kind of connection with somebody else. They were an emperor to somebody else still, whether it was in name only, whether it was because of financial reasons, but I could see a future with them, but how was I supposed to have a future with them if they were still somebody else's person? And no wonder Virgo's like, I'm hearing from this person. Of all people, it's going to be that emperor. I mean, Virgo could have real mixed emotions about them. Once upon a time, they were married and trying to deal with me. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know what I think about this. But at the same time, I could see how we could have been so happy together. It's maybe meeting the potential right person, but at the complete wrong time. With the Ten of Swords here, Virgo literally gave up on that, even if it was like in another lifetime, maybe we could have been something. But circumstances being what they are, I need to stop thinking about them. And I think Virgo like closed the shutters. And so now to hear from this emperor, it's going to be like, seriously, of all people, it's you reaching out to me. I don't know what to do about this. I'm thinking about how I had to let you go. I'm thinking about how hard it was to let you go. 9 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. So this was like the missed opportunity, the love story that didn't get to take off, the relationship that Virgo didn't get to have, but they were like, I can't think about it because you're not changing anything. You're where you are. And you and I could have been something, but that must be meant for a different lifetime, for a different version of us. And I have to walk away from this. And I have to say that it's over. Well, all I can say is I think Virgo really, really did close that chapter with the Ten of Swords. Virgo really said, I see myself as fully single. That person's not going to be my person in this lifetime. The only thing is they were lying to themselves. They had other plans that they never explained to Virgo. Like, I am an emperor, meaning I have other responsibilities right now. But remember how we saw them as an emperor that was walking like on the moon, on Mars. It's like they had plans way back in the day, knowing that their circumstances in life would change, knowing that they could not be with Virgo. It would have been nothing but a disaster. Maybe they kind of tried it with Virgo a little bit, but, and this may have been like they were married and they were trying to date Virgo. It did not work. No version of gray area worked. And they knew it would be a really long time before they could offer Virgo something that was no longer in gray area. But if this is them reaching out because they're no longer in gray area, I could see why Virgo's like, I gave up on this a long time ago. I shut that door thoroughly. I didn't even want to go back and deal with this person again. I was single from them, and I healed. I was okay being single from them. Now it turns out they've had these plans, these secret plans all this time about me, about someday they'd still show back up in my life. I don't know. How's Virgo feeling about that? See, the Seven of Swords is usually like, liar. It's not usually a very nice energy. Like this could almost low-key piss Virgo off. Like, so you had these plans. Would have been nice to know that you had intentions of offering me something real, or, what, I don't know. It just feels, it feels like they had plans, whether Virgo knew it or not, but it's with that Chariot sideways. I don't know if this is such mixed energy. Virgo's like, so you had these loyal plans toward me, but how loyal is it? If it starts out on kind of a murky territory, I don't know. The Virgo seems like they've got mixed emotions hearing from this emperor, which is the one thing I will say is, for all the gray territory, I will say this emperor has consistently had real emotions for Virgo, but has also, to the best of their ability, has tried to manage their responsibilities as well. This is a tough story because we're exploring what it means to have like integrity in a situation where there's also not clear defined lines the way we would expect to see. So I know this is a tough one, but we can see that our Virgo is struggling with this also. It's specifically the question of loyalty, almost like even if the circumstances here were very messy and this person was literally doing the best they could, what I think Virgo is still contemplating is whether or not this person has the version of clarity and loyalty, because we see the two dogs here, that Virgo would expect. I kind of think when we bring up a liar who has plans and the question mark of loyalty, I kind of think Virgo has a bad taste in their mouth about this emperor, whether it's fair or not. It's just how Virgo's feeling about this. This is what they're addressing, I think, when they hear from this emperor and they sit with this message from the emperor for a while. King of Pentacles. I think Virgo's trying to distill this down and say, what I want is somebody who offers something real to me. Something uncomplicated and consistent and real with me. Empress, Nine of Wands. This is interesting because Virgo's also realizing this did hurt Virgo. Virgo, again, remember Virgo's like, in another lifetime, we could have been great together. But your loyalty wasn't to just put your attention on me and build with me. If I were so great and if I were the one you wanted, it's kind of like Virgo saying, then how is it that you didn't drop everything and devote your energy to me? How is it that you still had to make me your plan for later? And Virgo might be saying, that's the part that stings. Even if you loved me and your circumstances were difficult, and even if I can understand that in this rational way, and even if you were trying to act with integrity, and even if, whatever, you had to keep an X on your health insurance, for example, or something, and there was no way that you could have walked away from that, there's still this piece of Virgo that's like, whether it's fair or whether it's not fair, it wounded me. that you didn't drop everything and just give your resources and your time and your energy to build in with me, that I had to be your long-term plan for later. And I think Virgo is realizing how much that stung in the back of their mind. This did wound Virgo, and it's a wound that has continued because Virgo's like, if you were an emperor and you saw me as your partner, I should have been your freaking empress, which means you build with me. You didn't pick me until later when it was convenient. Even if this isn't fair. See, here's the thing. Again, we're exploring this idea of like, we're getting pretty raw in this. That's the thing. I think Virgo is asking themselves, could I ever really forgive them for not dropping everything and developing everything they had with me, and then saying, yes, I do still have somebody that I owe a certain amount of, whatever, safety, security net. I have an ex that, they're unwell. I have to still do right by them because there's this sense of, it would just be morally wrong to not make sure that they're okay. They was married to them once. They were the, parent of my child, whatever it is. It's like, it's not that Virgo doesn't understand that. It's just that Virgo is still standing here saying, but what about me? How come you couldn't have just picked me? And that stings, that you didn't build anything with me. You continued to give your mixed version of loyalty to the other person and then had secret plans to give fully to me later. I guess this is almost like Virgo saying what you should have done is, if you still had to give to somebody else, I get it, but you should have poured 90% into me and let them have the 10%. Instead, you kept giving 100% to them, and then I was later when you could give 100% to me. And there's this energy of Virgo saying, that's what really bothers me. Even if now you would want to look at me as your full-blown empress, will I forgive you for the fact that you gave me nothing before because you stayed loyal elsewhere? Look, I don't know which is worse or better. This is Virgo. No wonder they're sitting here thinking, oh boy, this is one heck of a part two, isn't it? We're breaking it down. Okay, I can see why Virgo is really chewing on this, saying, so now you're here to give me everything. You're reaching out to me as an emperor. You want reconciliation. You could be a long-term partner to me now. Will I forgive you for not being that before? Let me pause there and let me turn our attention to person number 2. Remember, person number 2 is the one that never tried to date Virgo. Person number 2 is the one who's very attracted to Virgo, was very attracted to Virgo, didn't show it. If they had some other connection, they made sure that they were done with it completely first. They've never gravitated toward Virgo for passion. They may have worked with Virgo in some, extraneous capacity, but they're completely single and they're making a fresh run at Virgo. But I do say that they'd like to get their clothes off with Virgo as soon as possible because they've held the torch for Virgo for a very long time. So basically we have somebody who also has cared about Virgo for a long time, hasn't given anything to Virgo, but the difference between the emperor and this other, the moon person, as we call them, is that the emperor made overtures to Virgo, then was like, I withdraw my attempt to get with you, Virgo, because I have nothing to offer you now. Meanwhile, this other person wanted Virgo, but never gave to Virgo, but also never muddied the waters. So again, I don't know which is better. I don't know, but let's take a look. When Virgo hears from person number 2, and again, this could be somewhere in about the same week. She or he, Virgo may hear from the emperor first, and then Virgo sits with that and is chewing on it when they hear from this second person. Okay, so we have a Queen of Swords. We have a 10 of Swords. It's so crazy because Virgo's like, I stopped thinking about them as well, this other person. So maybe there was a little bit of awareness, oh, I think that person's cute, or, I like them. It doesn't feel particularly like that Virgo was really feeling like there was big flirtation. I think if anything, Virgo was always pretty clear about who this moon person was. Maybe they just haven't been in Virgo's life in a long time. And it's like, oh, I'll probably never see them again. And Virgo just accepted that. So this is not who Virgo would have expected to hear from. It's weird because Virgo thought for both of these people, 10 of Swords, I'll never hear from them again. That's just someone I knew once upon a time. So for Virgo to hear from them, person number 2. We have a 3 of Cups sideways. We have a 9 of Swords in the reverse. What's great is Virgo never had stress because of person number 2. But Virgo also never fully entertained the idea of love. Again, maybe they kind of thought this person was cute, kind of nice, but they didn't build this pretense of a relationship. And it is because person number 2 kept their emotions for Virgo completely subdued. I'm sorry, I'm looking for the moon, but they kept their emotions for Virgo totally hidden away. Which honestly, if you can't offer something real, don't mess with somebody. Like, I kind of like person number 2. I'm not going to show anything. It's fine. I'm really attracted to Virgo, but if I can't offer something to Virgo right now, then I should just zip it, because you either have something to give, and then by all means, maybe that's why this person's like, yeah, I want Virgo. I have no problem showing. If I'm free, clear, single, and available, I'm going to let somebody know how I feel and what I want from them. But if I'm not, then I got no business even airing that or, flirting with them. I think this is somebody who kept things very professional. So Virgo didn't really have anything other than, Queen of Swords energy. Like, oh, I think that person's nice. I know them. Now they're not in my life anymore. I probably won't ever see them again. They never caused me stress or grief. Were they attractive? Oh, yeah, but we never went down that road. Did I get along great with him? I sure did, but I never went down the road of flirtation. So there were fine boundaries around emotions. So Anita, thank you so much. Thank you. That is so generous of you. And hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm so deep in the story right now. I'm just like, I'm submerged right now. Yeah. In fact, this would be different because Virgo never entertained lusty thoughts of this person themselves. Virgo didn't even know this person thought lusty thoughts of them. So it could be quite a surprise, because Virgo's like, I never saw the, that look in somebody's eyes when they smile at you, but there's a little bit more of an invitation. Virgo's like, no, they kept their eyes carefully guarded. I never saw them, looking me up and down. I never got that vibe from them. So honestly, we didn't have the spark of sensuality. Let me think. Could I feel that way about this person? I never put them in that category. You know what? I think in this case, it's a lot better. That's a better scenario. We have the Page of Swords. We have the 10 of Cups. It could actually also really warm Virgo's heart to discover that this person has not only cared about Virgo, but never stepped a toe across a line, that they have not forgotten Virgo. And this could actually make Virgo feel kind of warm and fuzzy. And maybe this is nice at a time when they're just now hearing from this Emperor that they kind of have some pretty mixed and even irritated emotions over. And now they're hearing from somebody else shortly thereafter. And I don't think that they've yet responded to the Emperor. And now we have this Virgo who's like, this other person liked me. They never said anything. It is a little secret admirer or something like that. Or maybe Virgo's like, that's kind of heartwarming that somebody was respectful toward me and didn't make a move in my direction. But they liked me enough that I stayed in their mind. I mean, the world's full of beautiful people, but I stayed on their mind. And they're approaching me single, clean, clear. They may be very upfront also. This moon person could be like, I liked you a long time ago. We worked together. I didn't think I could ask you out then. At the time I was ending a relationship, but Virgo, I'm single. I would like to ask you out now. And it could just be that Virgo's like, oh my God, that means so much more that they didn't step a toe in my direction, even though they had wanted to. So first off, we do have loyalty, right? They don't blur lines. That could be refreshing. Yes, they want Virgo. Okay, they are way more passionate, way more intense about wanting some sensuality with Virgo. But right now, it looks like Virgo is actually more pleased, and has more warm, fuzzy feelings toward this person, because it feels like a huge compliment. By contrast, Virgo's over here saying, here's the rub with the Emperor. They had secret plans to be with me someday, but gave me nothing and gave 100% of everything to somebody else. But now they want to give me 100%. And I don't know that I can forgive them for knowing what they wanted to give to me and giving me nothing at one point in time. I don't know that it feels like Virgo is struggling with the real question of what do I believe about loyalty, with especially with the Emperor. Okay, universe, let's turn to you so we can get this storyline maybe settled and wrapped up. What is the best advice or something worthy of Virgo to contemplate when it comes to Virgo making a choice? Let's say it that way first. Empress. Virgo should be made to feel like an empress by whomever chooses them, meaning there shouldn't be any secret question mark in the back of Virgo's mind. Does this person have complete respect for me? Is this somebody I trust for a long term? And again, this is about Virgo's future. And who would I dedicate my energy to? Because if Virgo's going to go all in, and keep in mind, this whole part one was all about the fact that Virgo is headed into a long-term commitment, right? They're ready for that. So who does Virgo see as long-term commitment material? Who does Virgo's heart really want? Because I think this is going to be a one and done for Virgo. So there is a lot of pressure. Like, choose wisely, Virgo. Choose the one that you actually want in the long term, not even the one that makes you feel better initially, but choose the one that your soul truly wants long term. Frustrations, hurts, pains, irritations, wounds, those things dust off or heal, or can. If we want them to. But you have to think in the long term, not in the short term, because we're playing for keeps in this story. Okay. What is the best thing for Virgo to maybe just contemplate in regards to, let's go with the person, the moon person, the one who never made a move on Virgo, but is now. 9 of Cups. Okay. So to consider something that has to do with, happiness. 9 of Cups is joy, but it can also be self-indulgent joy. It can be, this person is making Virgo really happy right now. 9 of Sacred Circles. Okay, so not to insult or belittle, but this moon person, bear in mind, one of the things that Virgo feels about them, which was in direct contrast to the way Virgo felt about the Emperor, was the moon person. I'm very touched that they kept me on their mind, that they held back and waited until their life was clean, clear, and free to come toward me. And that makes me feel really good. That makes me feel warm and like I want to give to this person because I feel like they didn't blur lines with me. But then it is, and look, everybody has their ego, but it could be a little bit of ego stoking for Virgo to say, and I'm touched that they kept tabs on me. Now here's the thing. If we're going to split hairs and we're going to be really, 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 strict, how is what the moon person did that much different? If they were still in a connection, but they wanted Virgo, the one thing that they did is they didn't let Virgo know, but the question of their loyalty would be the same. And if Virgo were in the other person's shoes, say the moon person was dating somebody, but they wanted Virgo, that brings up the same question of loyalty. You're with somebody else. You're not giving to me. If I were the person that you were with, put you in the hots for somebody else, you're really not doing me right now, are you? So I'm only saying that this feels like it's not that different. And if Virgo is having to, keep in mind what we're dealing with here is Virgo has to make a really big decision between two different people who at surface level seem like, well, the moon person is clearly the better choice. They never made a move in Virgo's direction until they were truly clear. But they kept tabs on Virgo. They kind of spied on Virgo. Basically, we could say, was it akin to like an emotional cheating? You might have felt that way to the partner that they were with. So you're with me, but you keep watching Virgo. I'm just pointing out, I'm so sorry, I have to be devil's advocate here and point out the different sides of this. But I think it's important if Virgo is trying to make decisions, because both of these cards are about Virgo and Virgo's own, like, what am I feeling about this? What am I getting out of this? I get to feel like this person had eyes for me, didn't make a move toward me, but kept me on their mind, and that makes me feel good. When in fact, I was still single and good on my own anyway. I have to say, this is still who Virgo was, even when they knew the Emperor as well. I'm just pointing out, not everything is quite as like clear, like let's put our votes in the corner for the moon person necessarily. Virgo has to decide, do they love this moon person? Do they feel a pull toward this moon person? Or is this moon person making Virgo feel good inside? That would be a faulty reason to choose this person. They make me feel special. But does Virgo love the moon person? Neither of these cards say that Virgo loves the moon person. It says, this is fun. This makes me feel good. It makes me even feel like a bit of an ego boost. That's nice to know somebody thought of me and kept thinking of me. But that question mark, that standard of how loyal are they, Virgo's not holding them to that same standard. Were they with somebody else thinking of me? But it's okay because they never approached me. That's really not that different than what happened with the Emperor. I'm sorry. I have to point it out because this is important. If Virgo's going to make an authentic choice and Virgo's wounded by what happened with the Emperor, but they feel like the moon person isn't somebody who wounded them, Virgo might not be being fair about the way they're looking at this. And that's super important if Virgo's going to make the choice that is for their long term. Okay, now, universe, come out for the Emperor. What is the thing to think about there? We have the Lovers, and we have the Chariot. Okay. This is so crazy because we're being swung back and forth like a freaking yo-yo on this, okay? And I'm right there in the story too going, I don't know how to weigh this either. So the universe says the Emperor person authentically chose Virgo to the extent that they knew, I want to choose Virgo, but the only way I can do that is if I move on from something else. So the only honorable way I can handle this, I meet Virgo, I know I want Virgo, I point blank tell Virgo I want Virgo, and then I say, and the only circumstances I can have you under is if I move on from something else. So first order of business is fully move on from something else. I cannot give you anything other than a kiss on the back of the hand. I want you, Virgo. I'm making it known, but I also know I have to. This is somebody leaving a situation, right? In one respect, both of these characters have done the exact same thing, but one of them made their intentions known to a certain extent. Virgo says, no, they didn't. They had secret plans to be with me, but they didn't know how long that would take. They didn't tell me that this is really what the plan was. I let them go completely. I don't know that everything Virgo said in regards to this Emperor was 100% true. This Emperor seems like they've been pretty upfront about certain things. But Virgo said this is never going to happen. They're not giving me anything. And Virgo still, the thing is, you said you wanted me, but you didn't give me anything other than those words. And the Emperor is saying, exactly, I said I have to be able to offer you something. Until I can do that, I can't be with you. On one hand, this would be the more loyal approach, to admit it, to own it, and then say that's why I can't move forward until I can give you what I want to. So kind of, I mean, honestly, we're playing with very gray areas of like, what do you do when you meet the person that you know you could be with, you want to be with, but you have, the real world is complicated. There's responsibilities, there's, preceding, complications and things that have to be arranged. Life is not this tidy movie script. This kind of changes the dialogue on this a little bit, though, doesn't it? If the big thing for Virgo, at least from the universe's perspective, is Virgo, remember, you're playing for keeps. You got to pick the person that you want, that you choose. the one that you actually want to be with in the long term. I like the fact that we simplified things to the point of Virgo doesn't have to say, well, I want to pick, say, the Emperor, but I can't because I don't, it makes me upset to think about how things went because how come they didn't give to me immediately then? Even though I know full well why they didn't. Virgo might cheat themselves out of authentically picking the Emperor if they keep like a certain, I don't know, if it's an authentic thing where Virgo's like, I don't think I'd ever forgive him. I don't want to forgive him. No, that's a hard pass for me. Then that's fine. We're done. Virgo goes with the moon person or picks somebody else altogether. But in this story, we have the complexity where Virgo's dangerously close to, I almost think, choosing somebody that I don't know that Virgo is in love. Virgo already said about this moon person, well, I never thought of them as a romantic person. I never had any passion for them. I thought we were friends. I never was like drawn to them, even though I think they thought that they were a nice person. The moon person, it feels good to know that they were attracted to me. That's not enough of a reason to pick a partner. I mean, I don't think, or at least this is what's being hinted at. Whereas Virgo seems to have a lot more emotion. And Virgo also was wanting that emperor. And they know the emperor really wanted them. But because it didn't happen fast enough, it's like, forget it. I don't know that that's really the right answer for Virgo, unless in their heart of hearts they can say, I do not want them. If this is just, I'm still wounded that I had to wait because they had other responsibilities, but they wanted to be with me, but they gave me nothing. But they told me that they wanted to be with me. And that's such a sting. And that's such a, Virgo really needs to vocalize all this and get through that dialogue with that emperor, perhaps. But it just says, remember, Virgo's at this precipice where there are two people, both of whom have really great emotions for Virgo, but that doesn't matter. What matters is Virgo has to pick. Who do they truly have emotions for? And not all relationships are so smooth and easy. And if Virgo's holding a bit of a wound because of what happened with the Emperor, but the Emperor is still the person that they really want, then don't pick the moon person because the moon person cares about Virgo, and it makes Virgo feel good. That's not going to last. Virgo is eventually going to still wish that they had picked the Emperor. So I don't know what to say other than, actually, let's go back to the universe. Universe, wrap this up. We've got the Two of Wands in the reverse. The universe says Virgo actually already does know which route they want to take. They do know this. They know which route they would prefer to go. The only time that we ever saw the King of Pentacles, it was associated with the Emperor. It's where Virgo said, why did you not just give to me and then make your other responsibilities be like, look, Virgo, I'm going to give you my attention, but I have to still deal with somebody else a little bit also because there's unfinished business. And Virgo's like, but they didn't do that. Instead, they stayed where they were 100%, and now they want to offer me 100%. The universe is just pointing out to Virgo, the bottom line is Virgo wants somebody who's on their team 100%. So whomever it is that Virgo actually knows is on their team 100%, would change their life for Virgo 100%, would offer something Virgo 100%. That's who Virgo's going to pick. But only Virgo knows how they're going to view this. But it does say Virgo deep down already knows. Look, in both of these cases, this is so tough. This is probably the most thought-provoking and frustrating story ever because, I mean, what is this? An hour long? By the way, no part 2 should have lasted an hour. I'm sorry that it got this long. I am so sorry, you guys, but there was no quick way for me to, I didn't know we were going to have two choices here and that it was going to, wind us down this road. One final message. Three of Wands. Virgo knows who they're, sorry, but this is an Emperor and an Empress together. Virgo already knows who they see in the future. I kind of think it is always the Emperor. I think that's what this says. I think that the Emperor, even though like I was not a fan of him for a hot minute, and then the way the cards made us compare and contrast, apples to oranges, I'm like, there is, I think the bottom of the line here is that Virgo has way more real emotion for the Emperor. So at the end of the day, Virgo, don't cheat yourself out of hashing things out with the Emperor and building that connection that you actually want with an Emperor. Don't pick the person that you feel flattered by because they like you, but you never had those emotions for. Pick the person that you really want at the end of the day, Virgo, because it is your happiness that's at stake. It's not about, oh, I shouldn't because that Emperor, I kind of think that was not the best way to have handled it, and it did cause me some grief. If Virgo doesn't want the Emperor, then let him go. But if Virgo actually does, then don't let that irritation, that fester, and be like, I'm not even going to write him back because I was injured over that. I want him. I wanted him, but he didn't do the way I needed him to at the time. So screw you. Actually, that would be Virgo screwing themselves over. Instead, talk to that Emperor, air it out, say, how come you didn't just pick me before? Why didn't you just give me something before? Let him maybe explain it. That could be the difference in Virgo being able to release that one shred of pain that they have in association with the Emperor and being able to then clearly make the right choice. Look, Virgo wanted that Emperor, but they did want the Emperor to be able to give them everything. And I think that's a really important dialogue that Virgo has to have with this Emperor, so that at least if they're going to walk away from the Emperor, they don't have to think back at all. They'll have full clarity on like, oh, whatever, I would never pick that person, or that just healed everything. And yes, this is the person I want to be with. It just feels like we're playing for keeps. So don't let any kind of old wound that is unhealed be the reason that you don't pick the person that you authentically wanted. Instead, have the dialogue and see if you can get to, like, this is what I'm hurt over. Yes, I'm happy to hear from you, but what the hell? Like, if that's what Virgo needs to do, they need to talk to the Emperor openly. I hope that they at least do that before they make this decision so they can decide what's really right for them. Okay, I'm going to finally leave that one here. You guys, thank you so much. So good to see everybody. Sorry, this got so long. Oh my God. Yo, Ruben, you angel. Thank you so much, Yale. Yale just gifted 2 memberships. So, Boss Lady, you are now a member, and Just One Sparks 5871. You are now also a member, courtesy of Yale Ruben. Yale, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you, D'Artagnan. You're always so incredibly generous. And just so you know, now that you guys are members, do be aware that means you can tap into the members video and playlist. So I have a playlist called Members, and every Monday we post a members only video over there, and in those videos I always kind of like give you guys a rundown of what we do in the members corner. So I won't bore everybody with all those details, but yeah, just make sure that you check out that members video from this past Monday so that you kind of know how we do things and what the little perks and things are that we do over on that side, so you don't miss out. But you guys, thank you so much. Yell, Ruben, you angel. Thank you so much. I know so I have nicknamed Yale, or maybe Yale nicknamed, I can't remember Yale, how we came up with it, but Yale's been on my channel for a really long time, and just the most gracious comments, most beautiful. I don't know, Yale, if you're a writer or not, but you sure should be. You have the most graceful, beautiful things that you write. But Yale, I have gotten to know Yale's pets over the years also. And I kind of Yale and the pets together make up the 3 Musketeers. And so Yale is D'Artagnan out of the 3 Musketeers. And the yellow roche just suits D'Artagnan's character so well. So thank you again, sweetheart. LMC, hi, beauty. So nice to see you. Yet another incredibly generous gifter. LMC, you've gifted so many memberships as well. I lost track of how many. AC, I mean, there are so many generous people on this channel. Unbelievable. Lisa, oh God, Lisa Boyle, EM, 11D8, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm just so blown away by the incredible generosity. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Ruben. It's all true. It's all true, my dear. Activated being. Hi. Love your name. Jadzia, nice to see you. Welcome, hun. Delinda, awesome to see you. Star Child, Earth Angel. Hi, V. And again, welcome, boss lady. San Juanita, thank you so much. San Juanita, again, so incredibly generous. Crystal Suzanne, oh my God, the list of names that go on and on and on. Unbelievable. Unbelievably generous people in this community. Thank you guys so much. Joanne, hi, hun. Leah, Annie S. Annie S, I want to get caught up on zodiacs first now that it seems like I have internet again that's a little bit more consistent. So once we get zodiacs a little bit more leveled out, then I'll add in a bonus here or there. That's what I've been trying to do, is toss in a bonus here and there, but not at the expense, ideally anyway, of zodiacs. I feel like everybody's been so patient during all of the 30 days almost of my move and internet problems that I've had. And so once you'll see me integrate little extras in here and there as I can, but I probably sometime before the end of this weekend we'll probably get a deeper dive for the King of Swords, but I'm probably not going to squeeze that in until possibly Sunday. Today I have to do a message for pets, and today I have to get caught up on all those other zodiacs, so that I want to get back to how I've always done things on my channel, but oh my gosh, life has not been very cooperative. But yeah, so little by little, you guys will notice that, like yesterday, I added in a bonus that you guys had requested for what their soul craves. And so you'll see me start to do that. It's just going to take me a little bit of time. But yeah, thank you guys so much. SLH, good to see you. Keandra, hallelujah. Megan B. Erica, thanks so much for being here. Blanca Ray, hi. Hola, ¿cómo estás? D. Rogers, Gabriela Ortiz, Farrell Rust. So great to see you. Hi, AJ. Will Fuller, thank you for being here. Amelia, Slay Princess, Hetty, Debbie MCK. Shout out to you in Scotland, my dear. Thank you for being here. And again, Irene, thank you. And thank you guys for your patience. No Love, Goddess of the Moon, G, and Angel, and AC. AC, you're first in the house. Thank you guys so much. All right. I know this got very, very long, but I did have to postpone it for 2 hours longer than I thought, or later than I thought. So hopefully this made up for the delay. All right, you guys, thanks again. Take care, and I'll see you for some of the next zodiacs and a message from the pets as well. All right, bye for right now, guys.